where you can see the Turkish flag on the screens in the background. There was supposed to be a Turkish team here today in Madrid. Due to the circumstances in Turkey, they've withdrawn the team. Portugal have come in their place. And you can see the DNA steering group members on the infield, on the podium, as the athletes prepare to take a moment of silence to remember all those affected. Well, a round of applause from the athletes and those here at the track as we see the French team come out. They're the first team out onto the track for this opening event, the 4x4. It's a mixed relay. So you can see the Brits just starting to come out of the tunnel as well. This is a very strong GB team that are just being led out. The French team already there and waiting, as you can see the athletes start to come out. French team made up of Saif Mohamed Regard, Emma Jiquel, Alan Lacroix, and Emma Marciliac. Alan Lacroix, the star man in this French team, clocked 47.63 in the French Championships at the weekend, a finalist in the 4x4 at the World Under-20 Championships in Cali last year. Portuguese team, all of their athletes setting PBs this year in the indoor 400 metres. They're all just gathering in the infield now, over their shoulder. The athletes for the shot put starting to warm up as well. One of the quirks with this mixed 4x4, the lead athlete's already set in stone, but after that, they can mix up the tactics as they please. The team managers have the opportunity to shake things up if they believe they can gain a tactical advantage on the teams around them. And there you can see the lane draw for this first event. Spain on the inside, Great Britain on the outside. Those are the two teams that you would imagine would be fighting it out at the end of the day at the hunt. Great Britain have put out a very, very strong 4x4 team. The athletes all in their national strip. Unlike we saw in Castillon, where it was under-20 clubs focused, this is under-20 national team focused. Portuguese lead runner going through final preparations. So the Spanish team mixing things up on the first leg. They're going different from the crowd. Female first leg runner. All the other teams, Ireland, France, Czech Republic, Portugal and GB, all sending out male first leg runners. But like we said, after the set first leg runner, they can mix it up and change their set order. All the DNA events starting with a mixed 4x4. It's a great way to kick off the event, start the format. As the athletes handed their golden batons out of what looks like a washing basket. We love a bit of resourcefulness here at DNA. So Thomas Hockley leading out Great Britain, personal best set this year, 48.51. Miguel Marquez leads the way for Portugal. He also set a PB this year. Patrick Durko leading the Czech Republic out. He was first placed over 400 meters at the Czech Under-20 Club Championships last summer. Alan Lacroix, the main man for France. Finalist in the 4x4 at the World Under-20 Championships. There's the noise for Ireland. They said they'd bring the noise. Joe Doody performed well at his National Junior Championships, and he'll be looking to take momentum from that. And there is the noise for the home athlete, Natalia Rojas, who will be up against 5 male athletes on this first leg. The Spanish team shaking things up. They are one of the ones to watch. You imagine they'll be there or thereabouts when we get to the hunt. Such a strong team with so much depth. Natalia Rojas only competed in one indoor race this season, and that was in mid-December. But she'll be looking to put her team in a good position from lane 1. Spain in lane 1, Ireland in 2, France in 3, Czech Republic in 4, Portugal in 5, and GB in lane 6. And it's a brilliant start for Alan Lacroix of France. He is charging down the inside of his competitors. What a flying start for the Frenchman, who is in exceptional form already this season. It will be between him and Great Britain as they take the break, and just taking the momentum from that break is Thomas Hockley, who's now putting a decent bit of distance between him and Alan Lacroix, the trailing athlete behind. What has Thomas Hockley got to keep that gap open through the last 50 metres and give his Great British compatriot the best start that she's got? So now this is where the mix continues. The Spanish athlete only just handing over, so Spain trailing here, GB leading the way, France behind. Ireland going very, very well on the shoulder of the French athlete. Ireland looking to climb up some places here. This would be a great point to start for the Irish team if they can force their way up the order here, and that is exactly what the Irish athlete is doing. But a very, very dominant lead at this point for Great Britain. Well, this changeover will mix things up a bit. GB sending out their second female athlete. Etty Sisson takes over for Great Britain. Ashley Nemitz handing over to her. But she is being chased down by the French athlete behind her, who is absolutely flying. France going back into the lead now here. Eti Sisson having to fight off the Czech male athlete as well. France leading the way, Czech Republic in second, then GB, Ireland fighting behind. Spain have moved up a place. Spanish team now into fifth, but France will hand over first, then to Czech Republic. The final leg. And it is Great Britain who are chasing down France and the Czech Republic. Onyeka Oku competed in the semi-finals of the World Under-20 Championships. He is charging past the two female athletes in front of him. 200 metres to go, and Great Britain absolutely dominant. A very well timed and tactically ordered race. Ireland moving up into second. You can hear the Irish team absolutely delight at that. This would be a brilliant point to start. We expected Great Britain to go well. They put out such a strong team, but Ireland maybe the surprise in this race. England, Great Britain will take all 12 points. Ireland coming through in second, and a final leg by David Garcia, who we were told to look out for. He sneaks into third. For Spain, well, a lot of work had to be done there by the Spanish team. Great Britain, as expected, looking at the order they put out, take the win, take the 12 points, draw first blood here in Madrid. But lots of hugs there for Garcia, who broke the Spanish under-20 indoor record on Saturday and had to put out a storming last leg performance to sneak just into third for Spain. Well, the Irish team have already brought their flag out, waving it in front of the camera. Brilliant run for Ireland. Great Britain absolutely dominant throughout. Thomas Hockley, Ashley Nemitz, Onyeka Oku and Eti Sisson holding their own. Well, and they're just proving that they are the team to beat. That puts them in a great position going into the hunt. So there you can see the points from the first event. 12 points to Great Britain. As you can see on your screen, first place gets 12 points, sixth takes 2 points. As we get our first glance here on the stream of the shot put, the athletes have been warming up for some time. And we will start with Portugal. Javier Cruz will be the athlete having to follow the mark set by this Portuguese athlete. Federico Pina personal best of 14 meters and 28. So the mark laid down by Federico Pina is 13 meters 64. Javier Cruz, what can he do here? Personal best of 17 meters 68. The Spanish team getting behind their home athlete. So we go through head-to-head rounds to seed the athletes for the final rounds, which will then dictate the points. Athletes from these heats will get spikes, which will then put them in a better position to get the points. (16 meters 63 for Javier Cruz. So he will take the spikes from that first head-to-head in Group A. So France versus Ireland in Group B, the first head-to-head. Benjamin Zanatti getting us underway. Personal best of 17 meters and 7 centimeters, the regional champion in his regional champs this year. And it is Liam Shaw, the Irish under-20 indoor champion, who will have to follow the mark set by Benjamin Zanatti of 15 meters 25. Liam Shaw, what can he do in his first head-to-head throw in the shot put? The Irish team in the pre-show, when we spoke to them, saying that they're taking a lot of momentum from having their indoor junior championships and their senior championships over the past couple of weeks. Obviously national championship weekend last weekend. Liam Shaw in the circle for Ireland. Well, he shakes his head, he gets the white flag, obviously not as far as he would have wanted. Benjamin Zanatti claps his hands and there's a little bit of a smile as he dips behind the head of Isaac Delaney there, the British athlete, who would be the one to beat in his head-to-head and in this competition overall. Well, Liam Shaw won't be happy with that at all, but a good win in this first head-to-head in Group B for the Frenchman Zanatti. So back to Group A now. The second head-to-head for Javier Cruz. Well, Javier Cruz looks happy with that. His team, who had just positioned parallel in the stands to the shot put circle, happy with that as well. We'll wait to see what distance that was. (16.69) for Javier Cruz. Jan Srozel of the Czech Republic up next. Very, very tall figure. He's come close to his PB already this year, season's best of 17 meters 22, so he's well capable of beating the marker set by Cruz. Well, that dip just before the line that Cruz managed to surpass, so it will be Cruz who takes the spikes from this head-to-head. As the Czech Republic athlete goes back over to get his coat, he just towers over the other athletes. 14.99, so not enough for Czech Republic to take the spikes in this second Group A head-to-head. Liam Shaw steps up once again. And he is up against Isaac Delaney of Great Britain, the under-20 indoor champion for England, competed at the European Championships last year. As he said, we spoke to him on the live stream earlier today, a great character, really up for this one and enjoying being part of a team event when he's so used to competing individually and focusing on himself. There's tactics in this as well. He gets to look on as Liam Shaw tries to get himself some spikes. Into the netting he goes. So red flag for Liam Shaw. Well, this is where the tactics come into play now. Isaac Delaney watching on. No, he doesn't have to put out that bigger throw. He doesn't have to risk anything. Obviously the risk a little bit different to what we saw in Castillon when the circle was so wet on that second day. A lot of the athletes looking on just played a safe throw if they didn't need to go full rotation with such a wet circle and risk slipping or stepping out the circle. But I'm sure Isaac Delaney will want to put down a big mark, and that he does. Well, it's potentially just under or just on the 16-metre mark there. He could have played it safe. He didn't have to go full send on that one necessarily, with Liam Shaw getting the red flag just before him. But still wanted to set down a marker. 15.93, so like we said, just under 16 metres. Isaac Delaney capable of much further than that, but it's a good start and a good marker to take the spikes that will see him able to compete for more points later on. The more wins you can get in these head-to-heads, the higher up you will be in the order when you're seeded to get the points later on. And this is, of course, a team event. The points equaling a time advantage for the athletes in the hunt. So even though these are individual events, the athletes keen to rack up the points. (16 meters 14 for the Czech Republic athlete. Portugal up next. Campina. Throw further to take the spikes on this occasion. He won't be able to, so Czech Republic will take the spikes. They're off the mark now. Jan Swazzle taking the spikes for that one. That will see him seeded higher up. Shrug of the shoulders there from Federico Pina. Well, the atmosphere building nicely here as we go through the closing stages of this head-to-head stage of the shot put. Isaac Delaney up against Benjamin Zanatti. Both have got off the mark already with good throws. It's another big throw from Delaney. Well, he's got a red flag. He's been shown the red flag for that. So it's now in the hands of Benjamin Zanatti. Oh, stumbled and stepped out there, just couldn't keep his balance. So advantage France as our final athlete steps up into the circle. All Zanatti has to do is get a clean throw. And the white flag is shown. The distance on this occasion doesn't really matter. And he will progress through with a strong chance, putting a decent point scoring record on the board for France. Oh, Isaac Delaney will be disappointed with that. He would have wanted more for the GB team. So Javier Cruz for Spain takes the 6 spikes, as does Benjamin Zanatti. So in our head-to-head for points later on, Spain and France will be the two fighting it out for the maximum 12 points, which means it will only be for Great Britain a maximum of 8 points that they can achieve in the shot put, which might mix things up a little bit later on when we get to how the points play out for the advantages, the time advantages in the hunt. Next on the track, the 800 metres. You can see the athletes on your screen. Elena Liano, we spoke to her earlier on the live show before the meet started. She said she's ready for a tactical race, but she can run hard if she needs to. Jade Bouredon of France, personal best set this year in Metz. Saoirse Fitzgerald has her team behind her. She's one to watch, the Irish under-20 indoor 800 metre champion, 5th fastest youth time run in the world this year. Cheers then for our Spanish friend who we spoke to on the live stream earlier today. Indy King goes in lane 3 for Great Britain. She won gold at the English under-20 championship. She's coached by Trevor Painter, Keely Hodgkinson's coach. Adela Holubova, only 15, but her personal best set this year puts her 3rd in the world youth list for the year so far. She's one to watch from lane 1. The athlete's underway. A slight hesitation from the Portuguese athlete, Beatriz Pereira, in lane 2. Indy King is quickly to the front, as Pereira has an opportunity just to attach back onto the pack. Slightly hesitant on the start. So after the first lap, France leading the way with Jade Bouredon. Indy King will want to make sure that that gap doesn't get too big. Between her and the French athlete ahead of her. She has got the young Czech athlete on her shoulder as well. And you can't rule out Fitzgerald with the season that she's been having as well. So through 400 metres in 64 seconds. And that gap is starting to open for the French athlete at the front. And they take the bell, and it is now the Czech athlete who just gets a tap on her shoulder from the French athlete who's led the way for so long. 150 meters to go, and the gap is starting to open for Holubova, who is charging away. The battle behind her will be for 8th place. A trip from the French athlete. Indy King manages to make her way round the outside with gritted teeth, charging towards the line. Czech Republic take all 12 points, followed by Great Britain. France just behind them after a good front-running effort from Borodon, but didn't have enough to hold on in the end. Well, a perfectly timed effort from the Czech Republic athlete, only 15 years old, one of the youngest athletes in this field. But she has proven so far this season that she is one to watch from the future. Confirmation of her time, 2 minutes and 8.35. Holubova, one to watch for the future. Indy King in second, and Jay Borodon of France in third. So as it stands, after 2 events, obviously we've seen the shot put as well, but we'll find out the results and the points from that later on, as your confirmation on your screen of the results and the times from that 800 meters. We'll bring you the points and how they're affected by that race. So after 2 events, on your screens you can see the points table. Great Britain leading the way, 22 points. Czech Republic just behind them, 18 points. Well, maybe at this stage, no, only 2 events gone, but we thought Spain might be a little bit further up than that, but Spain have put themselves into a position maybe slightly further down the field than they'd like. Ireland have gone very well so far. And they'll be looking to hold on to that place in the table and to keep those margins as small as possible. Each point equals a third of a second, which will then be totaled up before the final event, the hunt, the mixed medley relay, which is great fun for all involved. And even if you're not involved, it's great fun as well, because all the athletes can pile into the infield to cheer on their teammates. It will be absolute chaos, at least in comparison to what we saw in Castillon. With the smaller track, there won't be so much distance covered from running from one end to the other to cheer on the teams as Liam Smith enters the circle once again. White flag is raised. meters 24 for Liam Shaw. Federico Pina is the man looking to better that mark set down in order to take 4 points. So 2 points for 6th place, 4 points for 5th. What can Pina do here? Ooh. Well, that looks like it will be less than the mark set by Ireland's Liam Shaw. Puts his thumb up there. Well, look of disappointment there from the Portuguese athlete. You can tell so much from field athletes' body language. And he's just waiting for his mark to appear on the screen, and it does. 13 meters 65, so a win for Liam Shaw of Ireland in the 5th place head-to-head playoff, if you like. Liam Shaw takes 4. Two points for Portugal, 4 points for Ireland. Isaac Delaney steps into the circle. Well, he, with the furthest personal best in this field, would have been hoping to be in the 1st place payoff, and unfortunately the no throw in his final head-to-head prevented that. He set down a big marker there. He tops the UK under-20 rankings and was a finalist at the European Athletics Under-18 Championships last year. 16 meters 43 for Isaac Delaney. Eight points will be the maximum that you can take from this head-to-head. Can the Czech Republic upset the party here? Well, Isaac Delaney just sneaks it. The Czech athlete putting down 16 meters 32. Small margins there. Just 11 centimeters between them. Well, Isaac Delaney will be happy to take the maximum points from that 3rd place playoff. Benjamin Zanatti of France steps up. That looks like it will be just under 16 meters. Cruz is the athlete he's up against. We'll take a look back at that throw from Benjamin Zanatti. Javier Cruz has just launched himself so high into the air just before he picked up his shot put. He sprang up so high, did the Spanish athlete, in his final warm-up before stepping into the circle. And it's a red flag for Javier Cruz. So France take the maximum of 12 points, 15 meters 91 for Benjamin Zanatti, a red flag for Javier Cruz, and well, this shakes things up a bit. This is a great start for France. Doing well in the 800 meters. They've taken maximum points in the shot put, and we'll bring you those team standings in just a moment's time. Obviously, Javier Cruz, even though he didn't lay down a throw, a valid throw there, he will still get 10 points just through being in that head-to-head. So there are the points that each of our shot putters have taken home. Well, that could be a good boost for Spain, looking to propel themselves up the leaderboard, and you can see it has done that. They're now into 4th. Great Britain leading the way, 30 points now, a 6-point margin So this is where the maths has to come in. That is a 2-second advantage. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it will be a 2-second. 2-second advantage in the hunt. Each point equaling a third of a second. And I'm starting to get excited. You can't see it on the screen at the minute, but just in front of where I'm sat, there we go, you can see the athletes getting ready for what is, I think, my favourite event here today. The 2x2x2. It's like a training session potentially gone wrong, depending on which way you look at it. And the athletes just preparing themselves. Again, we've got a mix of who's leading out.
Un gol más, un punto más,
in this.
un centímetro más, un récord más.
En Iberdrola también vamos a por más con la igualdad. Por eso ya apoyamos a más de 600.000 deportistas, 32 federaciones y 100 competiciones femeninas. Iberdrola, un líder mundial en energías renovables e impulsor de la igualdad a través del deporte. Iberdrola, por ti, por el planeta.
Un gol más, un punto más.
So we are back and you can see the athletes for the 2x2x2 mixed relay. I cannot wait to see this. This is one of my favourite events that we saw in Glasgow the last time DNA was in its indoor form before we went out to Castillon around 6 months ago. So Portugal go in lane 1, Great Britain in lane 2, Spain in 3, Ireland in 4, France in 5, Czech Republic on the outside in lane 6. Andre Franco will be leading the team out for Portugal. I'm sure we'll get a lane walk in just a second. We're going to start with the Czech Republic. Andre Lupau has run personal best in both the 200 and the 400 this season, so that's a good sign for the Czech athlete. Felix Levasseur in form, also setting his personal best this season. The Irish team, David Bosch. He was 6th at the Irish Under-20 Indoor Championships. Well, Spain shaking things up in their running order here. Andrea de la Rosa leading the way. She was part of the 2nd place 4x4 team at the Spanish Indoor Club Championships. Sam Lunt, English Schools Under-17 champion in the 400 metre hurdle, semi-finalist over 400 metres at the British Senior Champs. And Andre Franco, who's 4th over 400 metres at the Portuguese Indoor Championships at the weekend. He will be getting us started for Portugal. So, 1 lap, they hand over, another lap, hand over, another lap. It is going to be lactic central. Portugal in lane 1, Great Britain in 2, Spain in 3, Ireland in 4, France in 5, Czech Republic go in 6. And they're underway, and it is now a rush for the athletes to get onto the track, get into their positions, and also to get the blocks and all the starting equipment off. Sophie Walton is into her position, but it is, at this stage, France leading the way, Czech Republic in the mix as well. France hand over first. It's now Candice van Ploeren leading the way. Very, very close between her, the Irish athlete to her side. Lucy McGlynn starting to ease her way. And an injection of pace there from the Czech athlete. Lourdes Manuel, who is in the lead, but she's left a bit of space. She has to drift over to hand over to her Czech teammate. Sophie Walton has put Great Britain back in the mix as well. And you can't stop, you've got to turn around very, very quickly and get yourself back to your position. Great Britain into the lead, so the rest time for Sophie Walton, who was finalist over 200 metres in the Under-20 World Championships in Cali. She will take the baton over into the lead. Samuel Lunt looks absolutely exhausted. He's just stopped in the middle of the track, you can see him there. And this is where we have to find out which athletes have left a bit, who is capable to fight through the absolute sheer pain that will be filling the legs of each and every one of these athletes. Has Sophie Walton got what it takes to hold on? The Czech athlete coming round the outside very well. It's going to be so close on the line. The Czech Republic just take it. And everyone immediately onto their backs. Well, it looks so close between Sophie Walton and Lourdes Gloria Manuel. Well, we wait for confirmation. The camera is focusing on Sophie Walton. From the angle I was, I thought the Czech Republic could just creep through. What a result for Great Britain if they've managed to hold off on the line. Well, it looks like GB might have just taken it. We will wait for those results to come through. Lovely to see all the teams sharing a handshake or two. It is Great Britain who have took it. Whoa! Great Britain on the line, the tiniest of margins. Sophie Walton holding on, just a huge smile on her face. Well, that was hard fought. 1:43.29 for Great Britain, and it's 0.01 of a second that separates them from the Czech Republic. Well, Great Britain starting to open up a gap there on the Czech Republic in the standings. So we look back at how that 2x2x2 played out. One of the things I love about this event is it chops and it changes. At one point, GB was so far back, but then the lead that Sophie Walton was handed over was then chopped away by the Czech Republic athlete. How close was that? It doesn't get much closer at all. On the line, Great Britain by 0.01 of a second. Well, I'm sure they will offer a well-deserved lie down now. You would have had to roll me off the track, probably into the infield. There's no way I'd have been standing up after running 200 meters, taking a break, and then going absolutely full pelt, especially when you've got an athlete on your shoulder as well. Up next is the long jump for the women. You can see there on your screens just how fine the margins were in that race. Unbelievable. What a battle between Great Britain and the Czech Republic. Well, Camille Leroux on your screen at the moment. Personal best of 6 meters and 4 centimeters in this opening head-to-head. This is Group A. Camille Leroux laying down the marker, 5 meters 67. She's up against Tatiana Pereira of Portugal, the Portuguese under-18 champion in both the long jump and the triple jump. Starts to make her way down the runway. Looks good on the board. You can see on your screen the marker she has to beat. Well, that could be quite close. Could be very close indeed, that. I've got a slightly better view here from where I'm sat in the commentary box, and that looked almost directly on the line, if not slightly under it. We've just seen a close battle on the track. Looks like we'll have a equally close one here as well. We're still waiting on the result from the first head-to-head. You can see them both there on your screen. A bit of waiting there. Building up a bit of tension, anticipation. Potentially not ideal for Elizabeth Ndudi, who's currently at the top of the runway. She started to get ready, but still waiting on the measurement. Well, what's happened here? We're still waiting around. Well, it looks like we might have a bit of a technical fault here as one of the officials just makes their way into the sandpit. There's a lot of radioing and looking around. Well, there is a technical problem with the equipment, and that means that Tatiana Pereira is going to have to take another attempt. So it did look very close on the line between, we're in the pit even between the two athletes. Very, very close indeed. But a technical fault means that there's another attempt here for the Portuguese athlete. As Camille Leroux looks on still, a reminder that it's 5 meters and 67 is the distance to beat for Pereira, who charges down the runway. Good on the board once again. Well, we'll hope that the equipment works this time. One of the officials into the pit, slightly reluctant to rake it so quickly this time, and it is a victory for Tatiana Pereira of Portugal, who will take the spikes from this first head-to-head. Remember, no points allocated from these head-to-heads. This is the seeding for later on, where they'll go head-to-head once again for the points. Well, Elizabeth Ndudi, the Irish senior champion, the national under-20 record holder, number 3 in the 2023 World Under-20 lists. Well, it's over 6 metres. Her personal best, 6 metres 42. And 6 metres 24 for Elizabeth Ndudi of Ireland, who is up against Toliza Vlkova of the Czech Republic, taking a slightly longer run up. She's down next to the pole vault bed. She's all set up for later on in the World Indoor Tour Gold Meet taking place here this evening. But all eyes on the junior athletes in this DNA Under-20 meet at the moment, and a particular light shone on these field athletes. So rarely do these athletes get an opportunity to have the whole stadium watching them and just them. And like we've said in the build-up, it's a great opportunity for us to see some of the stars of the future. A lot of these athletes, as we'll mention repeatedly throughout the commentary, it is great to see them come back from the European Championships, the World Under-20 Championships, and shine here as they look to go on for another packed summer of junior championships, especially here in Europe, where it's not the win for the Czech Republic athlete, but it is a new personal best. So a smile and a good marker laid down for the future head-to-head. It's always going to be hard when you're going up against someone like Elizabeth Ndudi. Well, Tatiana Pereira up again next. You can see her just make her way back down the runway. This will be her third jump of the competition, despite only being her second head-to-head. She calls on the crowd, the Portuguese team just alongside for me, getting involved. They're sat with the Spanish athletes as well. Sounds like someone's got a drum somewhere as Tatiana Pereira makes her way down the runway. It looked like she had to chop her stride slightly before the board. She gets the white flag. We'll take a look back at that, I'm sure, but it will be shy of her first effort by the looks of things. It's come up just in front of me as 5 metres 36. Just get some words from her coach. Another quirk of DNA. You're allowed your coach in the infield with you to give you some words of advice. Well, Laura Martinez is the athlete currently on the runway, representing Spain. 2 times European Under-18 Championship bronze medalist in the long jump and the medley relay. A little skip to get her underway. The Spanish fans happy with that one for Laura Martinez, 16-year-old. She takes the win in that duel, 5 metres 64 for Laura Martinez, who holds the Under-18 national record for long jump and also 60 metres as well. Czech Republic and Great Britain, the next 2 to go head-to-head. We haven't seen the British athlete make a jump yet. Lucy Fellows, she was competing at the British Indoor Championships at the weekend. It was, of course, National Championships weekend, and a fair few of the athletes competed at senior level as well as their juniors, which were in most cases the week before. Teresa Vlkova. Personal best set in the last round. Looks quite close to 6 meters, that one. Got a brilliant view of the pit here from the commentary point. That has come up as 5 meters 99, just shy of the 6 meter mark. And that is what Lucy Fellows will have to try and better. She's got a personal best of 6 meters and 3. She's second at the England Athletics Under-20 Combined Event Championships and the England champion in her age category of long jump. Season's best of 5 meters 96 indoors. She'll have to better that to take the spikes there. Very close on the board, that. Well, disappointing for Lucy Fellows. So close, just her toe. We haven't got a camera down exactly, but I'm practically level with the official who is waving the red and white flags, and it was just her toe that creeped in. But as we know, that won't make any difference of any part, even if it's just the tip of the toe that is over. The red flag is waved, and Vlkova, even though she didn't take all the spikes in her first head-to-head, she got a personal best, and now she's taken the spikes in her second. So a successful series, I'm sure the Czech Republic athlete will think, as we're back to Spain and Laura Martinez. There's Camila Roux. She's had some waiting to do. She was the first athlete to get the jumping underway in the head-to-head. She's had to wait till the very end for her next jump. A lot of room on the board there for Laura Martinez. That will be under 6 meters. Capable of 6 meters 28. Meter 67 for Martinez of Spain. As Camila Roux steps back up. Five meters 67, the mark she has to better. One of the shorter run-ups of all the athletes. Well, showing the white flag. That looks... Oh, it looks like it'll be close. Looks like it will be a bit further, and it has come up as 5 meters 82 for Camila Roux. So she will take the spikes and a better seeding for the final heads-to-heads, where the athletes will compete for the points. One more head-to-head to go, and then we go to the center of the track for the short sprint. So the athletes just warming up and getting their positions in front of the blocks. But before that, you can see Lucy Fellows and Elizabeth Ndudi. Lucy Fellows will be the athlete to jump first for Great Britain. Big fan of the stadium playlist at the moment. As Lucy Fellows gets ready to make her way down the runway. Oh, where was that? On the board. Oh, a valid attempt. It looked like it could have been close on the board, that. but she gets her first valid jump of her head-to-heads, 5.70 m for Lucy Fellows, the multi-eventer. But she has got some tough competition in Elizabeth Ndudi of Ireland, who is the one to beat in this event today. Lucy Fellows just having a word with her coaches. She calls on the crowd. The Irish team said that they'd bring some noise. I can see they brought some fairy lights as well. We'll have to try and get a shot of that later on. The Irish team have decorated with fairy lights. That is next level. And they are all in support of Elizabeth Ndudi, who sails into the pit, a white flag, and that will be further than the mark of Lucy Fellows. She knew that maybe with her personal best, her season's best, incredible season that she's had so far indoors, that maybe she could hold back slightly. 6.11 m for Elizabeth Ndudi of Ireland. So she will be fighting for top points in our head-to-heads later on. She just has a word with her coach. She squeezes her way onto the seats behind her. Well, we're going down to the centre of the track in just a moment's time. I don't know if you can see behind, no, the camera's facing the wrong way. I am absolutely obsessed with how Ireland have pitched up and just decorated the place like it's their front room. We've got fairy lights, we've got flags everywhere. I saw an Irish-themed cowboy hat earlier. It's great energy that the Irish team have brought once again. The club team that they sent out to Castillon had the most energy. They teamed up with the French and formed some super nation and were cheering everyone on. It was just immaculate vibes, and they brought the energy again today. And you can see athletes on your screen for today's first look at some short sprints. Well, there you can see the athletes on your screen for the 60 metres. Ricardo Mateo goes in lane 2 for Spain. Jesse Osas, a brilliant character who was at Castillon representing Ireland, goes in lane 3. Jeremy Dalfreys in lane 4 for France. Jerry Sinek of Czech Republic in lane 5. David Landim of Portugal in lane 6. And Russiano Thomas Riley of Great Britain goes in lane 7. Well, this is as quiet as the track has been all day as the athletes prepare to get down and into their box. So Spain go in lane 2, Ireland in 3, France in 4, Czech Republic in 5, Portugal in 6, Great Britain in lane 7. Well, it's a good start for both Portugal and Great Britain, as well as Spain on the inside, dipping on the line. Thomas Riley of Great Britain He'll take the win for Great Britain. 12 points for the British team. 680 for the Brits. Graziano Thomas Riley, he had a great start, was matched through the start by David Landem. Who gets a new personal best. But it is Great Britain who are racking up the points tally here. Good run for Riccardo Matteo, who was telling us before the meet that this is basically his home track. He races here a lot. He was quite reluctant to see anyone else take full points. And he's taken a good point haul for Spain in third, taking 8 points for Spain. Personal best for the Portuguese athlete in lane 2. And Thomas Riley just 0.02 seconds outside of his personal best with that run. So there are the standings after 5 events. Well, Great Britain very much pulling away from the Czech Republic behind. Surprised maybe not to see Spain as high up as they are. They were down as one of my ones to watch. I thought it'd be quite close between them and Great Britain. So our final head-to-heads in the women's long jump. Spain up first. Paloma Martinez. Not happy with that one. Opting out of the jump in the end. 3m57. Well, that opens the door for Lucy Fellows, who would have maybe hoped for a little bit more from her head-to-heads. You'd imagine she just needs a valid jump to take the maximum spikes from this head-to-head. Well, she was just waiting for one of the other athletes warming up for the high jump to take a jump, and she's readjusted where she's going to jump from. Maybe playing it, or where she's going to take her run up from. Maybe playing it slightly safer now she knows the mark is considerably lower than what she would have anticipated. Well behind the board with that jump, but that's all she needed really. Just needed to play it safe. Smile, shrugs her shoulders. She's added to the points total there for Great Britain, taking maximum from that first head-to-head. So 4 points for Lucy Fellows in this 5th place head-to-head. 2 points go to Spain. Portugal and the Czech Republic up next. Remember, Czech Republic currently sat in 2nd. They'll want to close the gap to Great Britain, who are more than easing away, you'd say, from the teams behind. They've put themselves in a brilliant position for the hunt, our final event. Each point equals a third of a second advantage in the hunt. And that is what all these athletes are contributing towards. Times will be on their mind and distances will be as well, but not as much as in a traditional meet, because they are looking for the points that will help their teammates out at the end of the day. Tatiana Pereira makes her way down the runway. Well, she has played that one very safe. Sometimes we see this with the DNA field events. You sometimes get the furthest and riskier moves made in the head-to-heads, which then get you into the points playoffs. Well behind the board there. 5:58 for Pereira of Portugal, and that is the mark that Teresa Vlhkova will have to try and better if she is to take the 8 points in this third place playoff. So 6 points for the athlete who comes out second in this playoff, which will be 4th overall. 8 points for third, and then we will move on to our first place playoff and then back to the short sprints. Well, better foot placement on the board there. She gets a round of applause from her coach. Looks like it might just be once again shy of 6 meters. She did get a personal best in her first attempt. Close in her second attempt, where she jumped 5.99, and she's just shy of that with 5.97. But like we said, personal best set in her first attempt, in her first head-to-head. So a good day for the Czech athlete, who's also secured some valuable points for her team, chasing down Great Britain and putting themselves, or attempting to put themselves in the best position possible for the hunt. France versus Ireland, Camila Roux versus Elizabeth Ndudi, who has been unstoppable so far. What marker can Camila Roux lay down? Well, it's good on the board. She'll get the white flag for that. It's going to be once again close to 6 meters, if not just shy of it. I imagine that looks, from where I am, just shy. Well, 5.74, so quite some way shy. And what will Ndudi do here? The pressure is off. She's got the best personal best in this field by some considerable way. 6 meters 42, national record holder for the under-20s in the long jump. She also set a personal best in the 200 indoors as well this year. Number 3 in the world under-20 list in 2023. Will she play it safe, or is she going to give it everything she's got? Well, she plays it slightly safe there, well behind the board, nowhere near it really. A very safe jump. Has she done enough? Well, has this tactics paid off? Only just. Well, 5 meter 85, the Irish crowd are buzzed. The fairy lights are in the air, the flags are in the air. Well, she played it safe. The margin, when you look at that, not representative at all of the day that Elizabeth Ndudi and the season that Elizabeth Ndudi has had. But that's what DNA is all about. It's about taking risks when it's suitable to, and you feel like you can take a risk, and then not taking risks on other occasions, playing it safe like the Irish athlete did there. And there's the results all together after those playoffs. And there are the results after 6 events now. We are charging through the program here in Madrid, the Gala Track, Gala Sports Centre, which will be host to the World Indoor Tour Gold later on today. But what an opener, something completely different for the sport and something we're enjoying watching grow throughout the sport, particularly these young athletes who are competing and those who competed in Castellón, absolutely loving it. Rennie Regis goes in lane 2 for Great Britain, the daughter of John Regis, 3-time Olympian, world and European champion. She's the under-18 European champion in the medley relay and a bronze medalist in the 100 metres at the European under-18s as well. Personal best set this year. She's one to watch for the future. Esther Palova of the Czech Republic, and then Beatrice Castellano on your screens there. Lucy May Sleeman in the middle of your picture, the Irish athlete, one to watch. She made it into the semi-finals of the 100 metres at the under-20 championships, World Under-20 Championships in Cali. Elena Guiu is the Spanish athlete going in lane 3. The athletes just having to get up and readjust in their blocks. You can see the numbers glowing behind them. Obviously the blocks that will be used later on as the green card is shown. The blocks that will be used later on for the senior athletes in the World Indoor Tour Gold. Great Britain go in lane 2, Spain in 3, Ireland in 4, France in lane 5, Czech Republic in lane 6, and Portugal in lane 7. The Irish athlete with those 2 plats, the one to watch as they're up cleanly and away. And it is Lucy May Sleeman who has the best start and takes the win. 7.37, well, just shy of her personal best, which was set this season. Elena Guiu coming through in second. The Irish team once again going absolutely wild. Jesse Assas, who's already raced today, saying before the meet that he wanted to bring a lot of noise, a lot of energy, and he's been organising a lot of the team to bring their energy, their flags, probably the fairy lights as well they've got down there. He was in Castellón and was one of the big personalities who we met out there. As the athletes start to come off the track, they're the ones making the noise. Well, a dominant performance from the middle lane there. Well, behind Ireland, Spain and Great Britain tied. 7.47 for Eleanor Gue and Renee Regis. Well, confirmation of on your screens there of the results, including how the points are then split for Spain and Great Britain, both teams taking 9 points each. Well, we are charging towards the hunt, the final event of the day. All the points totaled up, counted up, and that is what will calculate the advantages given to each team in this mixed medley relay at the end of the day. And of course, called the hunt because they're set off at different times depending on the time advantage they've gained. Well, we're off to the high jump next. Which is always a unique event here at DNA. Played like a poker match. The athletes with their whiteboards about to reveal the height they've chosen. So the Spanish athlete has gone with 203. Morgan Williams has gone with 196. So that is the height that they'll attempt. Pablo Martinez, personal best of 2 meters 10, going for 203. Morgan Williams going with the lower height, the England under-20 champion. And the England under-20 champion in his GB vest today will be the athlete who jumps first out of these two. Springs into his bounds and glides over the bar there. Oh, that's a bit fancy, isn't it? Look at that. Well, I haven't seen that before. So a green light on the uprights indicating that they've gone clear. Well, that's a lot of fun. Maybe that's where the Irish team have got their fairy lights from. Maybe they've just nicked a LED strip off the high jump. Well, up steps Pablo Martinez, and he takes the bar down. Well, well, well. Our first head-to-head has already proven exactly why we love the high jump here at DNA. The Spanish athlete going for a higher height. It is the Brit who will take the spikes, despite having a lower personal best and jumping a lower height. Now on to our Group B head-to-head. France against the Czech Republic. Well, Matthias Kudli going for the lower height, quite surprisingly, despite having a personal best of 2 meters 10, he's gone for 1 meter 97. Whether that's a tactical choice, Tonin Aubert, the French athlete who stood next to him, personal best of 2 meters and 8. That personal best set this year. He'll be the first to jump. I know it won't be. It will be Matthias Kudli who will be the first to jump. And his lighter blue kit with the white top. Competed at the European Under-18 Championships in Jerusalem. And he takes the bar down. And there you can see it light up red that time. So now it is advantage France. Tonin Aubert has gone for 2 meters, and he's going to have to stick with that now, despite Kudli going through the bar and recording a foul jump there. Well, I bet Tonin Aubert is wishing he'd have put that mark a little bit lower. Both athletes failing their heights there. So we'll now have a split of the spikes later on. That does mix things up when it comes to the seeding for the final. Back to Group A. And Pablo Martinez going for 198, the Spanish national champion. Evan Hallihan of Ireland going for 1 meter 90, and Hallihan will be the first to jump. Well, we've already seen it play out this way this afternoon, that the athlete with the lower height has taken away the spikes, and you can see the uprights, the light up green, as Hallinan clears that, much to the delight of his Irish compatriots sat just to the side of me. So Pablo Martinez. One meter 98. And he's over. And he gets his first spikes of the competition, clearing 1 meter 98. Beating Hallinan in that head-to-head. These head-to-heads decide the seeding for the final head-to-heads, which then the points will be allocated to after that. Our next head-to-head in Group B. Matthias Kudli back again, this time against Pedro Correa of Portugal. they spin their boards around. 195 for Matthias Kudli, 185 for Pedro Correa. So slightly lower, just 2 centimeters lower, Kudli has asked for in comparison to the height he failed at. 197 against Tonin Aubert, who also recorded a no jump. So Correa jumping first. The bar set at 1.85 m. And he clatters it on the way down, and the uprights light up bright red. They change from their blue indicating the height of the bar to bright red. And what can one of the ones to watch in this competition do? Personal best of 2.10 meters, a personal best that he set this year. What can the Czech athlete do? 1.95 m is the height he has to clear, and he soars over that. There are the green lights. He gets his competition underway. That will give him a lot of confidence. I wonder if we'll see that bar go up slightly in his final matchup. So Great Britain versus Ireland in this final Group A head-to-head. As they will spin their heights around on the whiteboard. Hallinan of Ireland opting for 193, and Morgan Williams opting for 1.96 m. He's already gone clear. Hallinan, the Irish under-20 high jump and long jump champion. He's equalled his PB already this year. And he will be the athlete who jumps first, as Williams just runs off to the side to go through some final preparations. Hallinan, 193, and he's clear. Morgan Williams, if he clears this, he will take 2 sets of spikes and a top seeding through into the final heads-to-heads. The pressure is on. Always interesting to see how the athletes deal with the pressure of this being almost one jump only competition with the head-to-head structure, and then also the fact that nothing else is going on in the stadium at this given point. Just the field events, just the high jump at the moment. Off goes Williams, 1.96 m. Oh, victory for Evan Hallinan in that head-to-head, the final of Group A. Morgan Williams just catching the bar when he came down. One last head-to-head to go in the high jump of this qualifying stage, and then we will be back into the centre of the tracks for the women's 60-metre hurdles. Tonin Aubert and Pedro Carrera, Portugal versus France. In this final head-to-head. What are they going to... Ooh, have we got... Oh no, I thought that the angle that was revealed at, I thought we'd got both athletes jumping the same height. I'd misread the 8 that the Portuguese athlete had jotted down there. One of the quirks of using these whiteboards, but it'll be 186 for Pedro Carrera, 196 for Tonin Aubert. I can't really comment though, my handwriting is a lot messier than Pedro Carrera's is, particularly when I'm scribbling stuff down during a meeting. Pedro Carrera skips his way out towards this side of the track. Well, a long run up here for Pedro Carrera. He's almost in the advertising hoardings on this near side. Potentially too long. He snags the bar there, as you can see. 185, unable to clear it. Tonin Aubert, 196, his height of asking. A much shorter run up for the French athlete. Well, the uprights just light up blue as the final adjustments are made, and Tonin Aubert starts to skip his way down towards the bed. Oh, so close for Tonin Aubert. I thought it might just stay on, as was the delicacy with which he scraped it with his heel. Well, the French athlete Aubert will be disappointed with how those head-to-heads have gone for him. So Czech Republic and Spain will be fighting it out for top points. France and Portugal, both their athletes unable to jot down a mark. Well, next up, the 60-metre hurdles for the women, as we progress very quickly towards the end of this DNA meet and the hunt. You can see the lineups for the 60-metre hurdles for the women, their season. Okru Bakary of Ireland goes in lane 2. France and Ocean Bijou go in lane 3. Some deep breaths there from the French athlete. Adela Shakova receiving a loud, loud cheer there from her teammates. She just missed out on a medal in the heptathlon at the European Junior Championships in Jerusalem last year. Melissa Seleno set a PB this year. She goes in lane 5. Meg Corker, the one to watch in this one, in lane 6. England Athletics national 60-metre hurdles indoor champion. She set a PB in Sheffield this year. And then the Spanish athlete goes on the outside. Koscielula. Ireland in lane 1, France in 2, Czech Republic. Well, Ireland in 2, sorry, France in 3, Czech Republic in 4, Portugal going 5, Great Britain in 6, Spain in lane 7. Well, fairly even through the early stages. And it is Spain. Sofia Coscuela, who will take an important 12 points for Spain there. Well, she's in good form. And if that time is confirmed, that could be a new personal best for the Spanish athlete by a very small margin. It is a personal best for Sofia Coscuela, personal best for the Portuguese and Czech Republic athletes as well. Meg Corker taking 10 points for Great Britain. Well, the home crowd delighted to see a Spanish win and also getting behind her for that personal best as well. The results and confirmation up on your screen now, how the points are distributed. And we are very much into the closing stages now. Every point counts. Each point equals a third of a second. Advantage in the hunt, and there is the standings after 8 events. Great Britain still leading the way by some considerable margin there. Czech Republic will be hunting them down in our final event of the day. Spain in 3rd, Ireland 4th, France 5th, and Portugal sitting back.
We will attack you here. We will come at you here. You know when that is here. The moment that you fear. Yeah.
Well, I hope you're enjoying our coverage of this DNA meeting here in Madrid. It's a lovely day in Madrid today. We're seeing some of the senior athletes milling around. The World Indoor Tour Gold takes place here this evening. And this is a brilliant build-up to see some world-class junior athletes battling it out in this unique team event where they all contribute towards our final event, the hunt, which is just around the corner. The final jewels of the high jump, where the points are allocated, is up first though. Hallinan versus Colera for the maximum 4 points in this final head-to-head. Let's see what the athletes have gone for. The Irish athlete going for 191, 185 for the Portuguese athlete. So If Hallinan can clear the mark that he has asked for, the 4 points will go to Ireland. Who got off to a flying start in our early events, particularly the 4x4, and Ireland have been fairly consistent throughout the day. One of the dark horses, potentially. Can Hallinan get the maximum points from this 5th place playoff? Corella will jump first. He has the support of his Portuguese team in their vibrant green kit just to the side of me. The Irish team making a lot of noise just down from them as well. And obviously being here in Madrid, a scattering of Spanish fans throughout both sides of the arena. Well, Pedro Correa unable to clear 1.85 m. Advantage Hallinan. Can he clear it now? The pressure is on the young Irish athlete. Has he got what it takes? Will he be overplaying the height he's asked for at this point? 5 centimetres shy of his personal best. A short run up for Evan Hallinan, the Irish under-20 high jump and long jump champion, who takes the bar down. Well, the pressure is on these athletes, particularly the field athletes who potentially aren't as used to having the spotlight shone on them. And particularly in the high jump, it is a high-pressured tactical decision, hence why they allow the coaches in the infield with them, and Hallinan's coach just gives him a pat on the back there. The points will be shared from that first head-to-head, the 5th place playoff. We're into the 3rd place playoff, Great Britain versus France. Aubert has opted for 1.95. Williams has opted for 2 meters. And it is Morgan Williams who once again just takes himself away from the crowded benches where all the technical staff and the other athletes and teams are. Morgan Williams, we've seen in his other jumps, just likes to remove himself from the crowded area close to the high jump bed. Tonin Aubert, 1.95 m in this 3rd place playoff. 8 points the maximum. Ooh, shaves the bar so slightly. He keeps it up though. Unlike his last attempt where he tapped it so delicately but the bar still came down. He's set the marker now for Williams to follow. He has to clear this, does Morgan Williams, to take 8 points for Great Britain. 5 centimetres shy of his personal best, this mark for Morgan Williams. Can he help add to Great Britain's impressive points tally? Well, he will add some points, but it won't be the maximum points as he just skidded across the bed there. The uprights light up red. Punches the bed in frustration. He will still take 6 points home to GB. 8 points will go to France. A little nod of the head and relief there from Tonino there. He goes and celebrates with his coach. Spain against the Czech Republic for our final head-to-head. Who will take maximum points? 2:07 for Pablo Martinez. 1:98 for Matthias Kudli. Well, there was a few oohs coming from behind me from the Spanish fans. There's a huge Spanish flag being waved directly across from me, just behind the high jump. Well, it's all about tactics, isn't it, DNA? Tactics driven, team focused. Well, I'm just watching the athlete from the Czech Republic go over and fetch an official because the hurdles have been laid out for the 60-metre hurdles for the men, and they are seemingly in the way of Matthias Kudli. Oh, in come the reinforcements to help move out the way all those hurdles to give Matthias Kudli the best run-up possible. He calls on the crowd. Finalist at the European Outdoor Championships at the under-18s. And the bar comes down for him. It just hasn't particularly fallen into place for the Czech athlete today. Well, you would say advantage Spain now. But Pablo Martinez has set himself a very, very high bar indeed. What can the Spaniard do? Can he take all 12 points here with a really impressive jump? Martinez. And the bar comes down. Well, the points will be split at the top. Shares some words with his coach. Neither athlete able to get over their final choices for this first place head-to-head. So it will be split at the top. And that concludes the field events here in Madrid. Just one more event to go on the track individually before we total those scores up. All those points that have been accumulated by the athletes over the past 2 hours, which have absolutely whizzed by, to decide who will be going off first and with what advantage in the hunt. One last opportunity to add to that points total for the athletes stood in the centre of the track at the minute. There's the standings after 9 events. Just one more to go individually before the hunt. Great Britain leading the way. That'll be some margin that they set off with. The Czech Republic following behind. And there is your start list on the screen for the 60-metre hurdles for the men. Oscar Doué goes in lane 2. Roman Kadavi of the Czech Republic getting a huge cheer from his teammates who have just come into the arena with 3 big Czech flags. Cicineo and Brits, one to watch in this one. National record holder goes in lane 4 for Portugal. Daniel Girola of Great Britain goes in lane 5. Daniel Castilla in lane 6 for Spain. And Adam Nolan in lane 7. Daniel Goriola of Great Britain, one to watch. Cicineo and Brits as well, next to him. Those 2 middle lanes, and Brits, Goriola in lane 4 and 5. France go in 2, Czech Republic in 3, Portugal in 4. Great Britain in 5, Spain in 6, and Nolan of Ireland in lane 7. Well, a fairly even start, but Goriola starting to pull away, as does Castilla. Well, what a result for Castilla. The Spaniard takes the win in the final individual event, a personal best, 7.67. Goriola .69 for the Brit. So 2 personal bests up top. And a new Spanish record for the under-20 athlete, Daniel Castilla. What a run from him. Well, he's got a big smile on his face as he walks down just in front of us. The Spanish commentators giving him a big round of applause. Big thumbs up to the Spanish team. Now Spain with that win, leaping up into second. Well, it's so close between him and the British athlete into the closing stages, and a really good dip on the line from Castilla to just nudge himself ahead. Daniel Goriola, second for Great Britain, also a personal best time, taking another big points haul for the Brits. Cicineo and Brits of Portugal coming through in third, and then France, Czech Republic and Ireland behind. And the standings after 10 events, after all the events that lead up to this one that will come next, have concluded. Great Britain with 93 points. They will have the advantage over Spain, who have climbed their way up the table, it has to be said. It took them a while to get their first 12 points on the board, but when they did, it just leapt them up the table. 13 points between them and Great Britain. Czech Republic currently in third, but a reminder that whoever crosses the line first in the hunt is the winner, regardless of what order, what points. Points are only there to translate into a time advantage. And so it all comes down to this. You can see the athletes all piling into the infield as well. They're allowed to be in there to support their teammates. Well, the Great British team there. As you can see on your screen, will be the ones who will get us underway. And the pressure is on them to keep that lead throughout. So the athletes just sort of making their way into their positions now. So the hunt, a mixed medley relay, 600 metres the first leg, 400 metres the second leg, 200 metres the third, and 800 metres the fourth and final leg. (600 metres for the men, 400 metres for the women, 200 metres back to the men, and then it is the women who will finish us off with the 800 metres. And the first athletes are just having their technical briefing. You can't see it now in shot, but there you can now. The athletes just being spoken through what happens. It is so unique, this part of DNA. We say it's nothing like you really see before, or see anywhere else, even in athletics. The athletes will have a time advantage over each other and will be set off in order. There's lights, little lights down by the side of each athlete's feet. You can just see it behind the Spanish athlete there. Those will be the indicator for the athletes to then go. So the athletes just making sure, and the officials as well, that everyone is fully understanding of how this works. The Irish team in the background going absolutely wild. They promised they would. Jessie has pulled through. I can't see the hat. I'm missing the hat, wherever that's gone. There was an Irish cowboy hat that I saw come through earlier. They've got their fairy lights up still. They're all piled into the infield. The Spanish team, they'll be the threat to Great Britain, who, until the end of this mixed medley relay, can't really say they're safe at all. Spain have caught up with them throughout the course of this competition, closing the gap to 13 points. Well, change of tone slightly in the arena. The pressure is on. Great Britain have the time advantage, just over 4 seconds, I think, if I've done the maths right. They'll be leading the way by, and then Spain will be set out to chase. So 4.3 seconds, the advantage that Great Britain have over Spain. We thought it would come down to this. There was points during today's meet when maybe we doubted it. There's Jack Kelly, who we spoke to before the meet today. He said there's absolutely no pressure on him. He loves it. Louis Owe having a bit of fun with his lane walk introduction there. Well, how good has this Czech Republic team been all day? They've really showed up, and if it weren't for a late charge from the Spanish team, who are just being introduced there, it would be the Czech Republic who would be chasing down Great Britain directly. Instead, they've got to go through Spain first. David Race will be leading out the Great British team. He will be getting us underway, and he will have a 4.3-second advantage over Spain behind. 600 metres this first leg for the men. So the light goes green and off goes David Race for Great Britain. Spain are away, so are Czech Republic. The lights are going green throughout that starting block. Portugal are having to wait 16.8 seconds, but Portugal finally away. David Race leading the way for Great Britain. The 800-metre runner with a personal best of 1:53.11 indoors, the England Athletics Under-20 Indoor champion, coached by Kyle Bennett in Gateshead, and his lead is huge at the minute, almost as big as the French flag that has just been dragged into the middle of the infield. 600 metres, this first leg for David Race, who is giving it his everything. Czech Republic have moved round the outside of Spain, so it's now the Czech team who have made their way back into second place overall. Remember, whoever crosses the line first is the winner. They will be the champions of Europe. Well, here is the handover for the British team. David Race hands over to Jessica Astle, the World Under-20 Championships bronze medalist in the 4x4, European champion in the medley relay for the under-18s. And she is taking on this 400-metre leg. But an interesting battle there behind between the Czech Republic and Spain. Here comes Jessica Astle, gritting her teeth. 200 metres to go for her, and a brilliant battle for second and third. France trailing behind. But how focused does Jessica Astle look? Dean Patterson steps onto the track. 50 metres to go for Astle, who will hand over to Patterson. The European under-18 bronze medalist, who is flying. Look at Dean Patterson go. Such a strong athlete. He is absolutely flying through his 200-metre leg. He's going to catch up with the Portuguese athletes. They're going to be lapped here. Off goes Ava Lloyd. She's fresh and bracing at the British Championships, where she set a new personal best. Ava Lloyd also flying here. Another athlete coached by Trevor Painter. The coach of Keely Hodgkinson. And Ava Lloyd, a talent over 800 metres as well. Well, this gap is around 70 metres, maybe opening up towards 80 now for Ava Lloyd. The battle behind for second still going on between Spain and the Czech Republic, who have been inseparable throughout this tournament, throughout this competition, and into the hunt. Ava Lloyd leading the way for Great Britain, who started strong, they're finishing strong. The relay teams that they've put out today have been absolutely stacked with talent. And it is a long solo run to end this relay for Ava Lloyd, but her team are behind her all the way in the infield. The last lap for Ava Lloyd of Great Britain, as the Czech Republic go back into second place. What a battle that's been behind Natalie Millerova, starting to stretch out the gap between her and Marta Michans. But Ava Lloyd into the finishing straight now. What a result for Great Britain, what a performance throughout the day. And Ava Lloyd raises her hand and the baton in the air. Huge smile on her face. It's been a team effort, but she had a moment of glory down the finishing straight. Great Britain are champions of Europe. They win today's DNA Under-20 meeting here in Madrid. What a way to start a day of world-class athletics here in Spain. Minutes 48.79, the time for the hunt. Well, at no point today of Great Britain looked threatened as a team. All the athletes from that final race, all the hunt legs, all hopping in together for a photo behind the flag, or in front of the flag even. There's the Czech team who came through in second place after starting third. A brilliant battle between them and Spain, which came down to the last few hundred metres. None of that pressure at all on Great Britain though. The home team, the Spaniards, take third place. And some shots of that final race and how it panned out for first, second and third. You can see there as Dean Patterson passes over to Ava Lloyd and they lap the Portuguese athlete. Each one of that GB team putting out superb performances, superb individual performances during that team race. And now we will wait for the moment that they start to make their way over to the podium and will pick up their trophy and be congratulated by the rest of the teams. You can see that massive French flag down at the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Where that has come from, I don't know. They pulled that out of somewhere and have been running around with it round the infield as the athletes were tracking around the outside of them. Having a little huddle there, the French athletes. Sharing some thoughts and words on their performance today. And of course, all smiles from the Great British team who secured themselves the title. You could have said that potentially they'd done that before the hunt, points-wise. There was 13 points, which equated to 3 or 4.3 seconds advantage, but still the quality of that GB team shone through. As the French athletes getting in and involved with throwing the flag up in the air. The tricolour flag goes up above their heads. The thing that is so unique to DNA, the enjoyment of all the athletes involved. It's a team event. While individual performances obviously contribute, it's with a team focus. The pressure is off the times, the pressure is off the distances. Usually for slightly more tactically those decisions, but it means that at the end of the day everyone can enjoy it. The athletes taking the opportunity to get some team photos. French team just looking very serious and going to line up in front of the Madrid branding on the top end. There will be a presentation shortly for the winning team. And the teams coming in behind them in second and third. As we once again look back on the drama from that final race, the hunt. Ava Lloyd cruising through her 800 metres. See Great Britain cross the line with a substantial margin of victory over the Czech Republic behind, and it was a really close battle between the Czech Republic and Spain. Well, it's time for the ceremony for this DNA under-20 competition here in Madrid. One representative from each team making their way up into the podium. Of course, there'll be an opportunity for all the athletes to get on the podium and have their photos taken later on, but just one for each team stepping up. Spain accepting their third place, their bronze medal. third place for the Czech Republic. A really hard-fought battle against Spain in the end. And Great Britain accepting their gold medal from European Athletics President Dobromir Karamanov. The new European champions in the DNA Under-20 competition, Great Britain. All the formalities and photos being taken. I'm sure it won't be long until the British team flood their way onto the podium to try and get a group photo. All the athletes being directed over to the big LED branding sign and try and fit them all in one picture, which to me seems completely impossible, but I'm sure they'll find a way to do it. As we follow along with the victorious team from Great Britain, the European champions. Well, they embodied everything that DNA is about from a team perspective. Some personal accolades along the way as well, but the team focus and the strength of in particular the 4x4, and the team put out for the hunt in the end, proving so successful for Great Britain. Czech Republic potentially the surprise entity as they line up for their photo. They came through for second place after a number of consistent results, consistent point hauls. And the home team, the Spanish team, fought all the way to the end after a couple of setbacks early on. They climbed their way up the table, found themselves going off second in the hunt, and then a brilliant battle ensued between them and the Czech Republic, which saw them take the bronze medal. The flags continue to be waved towards the Spanish team. Well, one last group photo for our medalists today. Spain, the Czech Republic and Great Britain. Remember to keep your eyes across all of the social media for European athletics. Our Instagram, Twitter and YouTube, particularly over the next week or so as we build into those European Championships in Istanbul. It is going to be a busy, busy time and you don't want to miss anything.